Hello, everyone. Warm welcome. Oh my goodness, I am so excited to welcome you in our innovative night. And we having such an exciting topics, which is slowing down this concept called time. I just want to really hear from you who's excited about it because I am just thrilled and I have so many beautiful experts which are free. So I would like to welcome our amazing Bex Smith, Janaki Mayhill, and Sophia Soule, who will be expanding on this topic. And I really can't wait to hear because this is such an important topic, especially after what happened in the past 3 years. We all changed how we perceive it. And we were able to really tap into this like a calmness when nothing's happening. And I believe that it's so many things to say, so many experiences we had that we can share and we can learn from each other. So without any further explanation, I would like to introduce myself. I am Adela Healer and I run a embodiment woman circle for Sacred You.Love. And we have amazing Bex Smith, and I would like to call her for her to introduce herself. And what does she do? Please, Bex.
Absolutely. Thank you. And thank you for being a beautiful host tonight. I'm Bex Smith and I'm known as a cheerleader for change. So I'm a speaker, a trainer, a body psychotherapist, counsellor, wellbeing mentor, corporate facilitator, and a people and change consultant. And I'm on a mission to help you move through your emotions to truly experience life's delights. So my work is inspired by nature. And I have a great methodology called the Art of Yin, which combines body awareness and emotional intelligence to bring more of a natural approach to emotional health by helping you be self-aware through the ever-changing nature of your emotions. And I'm very happy to be here tonight to talk about this concept of how do we slow down time.
Thank you so much, Bex. I'm really excited about what you have to say. And I would like to give a word to Janaki. If you can please introduce to us. So what do you do? What are you all about, please?
Yes, I am Janaki with Bhakti Light. I am an agent of change and an alchemist of well-being. Actually, here I have a friend, so I'm going to go a little bit quieter. And I help people slow down for the frequency of love. And I also help people move through their perceived shit. Then I say perceive because we think it is, and turn the wounds into wisdom and those perceived weaknesses into our great strengths, because this is something I have mastered in my life and I continue to master over and over. And instead of having the world do this to me, I'm restoring power back into love. And we do that and the door opens in. And I love cultivating a space of helping people dance in their divine remembrance and come home into the wholeness of their being. And that's how we create heaven on earth. When we take all those pieces that we may have once judged or maybe not have loved yet and bring them together into wholeness. So I love helping and guiding others. I do quantum journeys and guiding others back into themselves, allowing ourselves to be the church, the body, the temple, coming into the altar of our hearts.
Thank you so much for such a beautiful words and slowing down the time through the love. Those are the words to remember for sure. Thank you so much. And I would like to have actually Sophia, who I'm sure everybody knows, but please.
Thank you, Adela, and I'm not sure if everyone does know me, but thank you so much for facilitating this wonderful panel, and I'm excited. I'm really excited because I have the whole thing about this concept called time. So who am I? So I'm Sophia. I have the honour. The role that I play at the moment is having the honour of co-creating Sacred You, our sacred community, and we'll talk more about that at the moment, but at the end. But I'm really excited because we're just about to launch. So that's my main thing. Plus, I host a few tribes and stuff. But the main thing is just co-creating this wonderful community where I have the honour, the pleasure of being with you beautiful women tonight. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Sophia, and thank you so much for making this happen. It is an absolute pleasure to be here and be hosting and just hearing, some words of wisdom and love. So is everybody ready? Let's do it. Let's start with the first question. Okay. So something I'm just so excited to know from all of you. How did you evolve and what was your journey with the perceiving the concept of time and how does it feel now? So I would like to have Janaki to answer first, please.
My phone wasn't wanting to unmute me. This time has been a very beautiful dance with me. I used to just kind of like, oh, whatever. And what I have found, I actually discovered this. My sister reminded me of this in my last women's retreat. There's Mother Nature and Father Time. And then as I've been restoring, this has been in my personal journey, as I've been restoring my masculine relationship, calling in structure, calling in those things, because what I've remembered also about structure, that is consciousness. And how do we wake up our planet? It's the conscious with the unconsciousness. And it's the marriage of both the divine masculine and feminine. So as I've called in the masculine energy and restored the connections with my masculine, my wounded masculine, time has actually becoming easier. I used to always show up to things late. And for the very first time, I actually showed up early to my last I Am journey for I Am Divine Union. And my partner who does the food, she showed up early and she's never been early. And she's the projection of me. And oh my God, when I saw her, I go, hell froze over and heaven has landed, because it's allowing ourselves to be in flow with the support of structure. And this is a new concept that I'm giving myself and implementing in my life, where I'm no longer rejecting structure and the foundation, because those are important pieces. So that's been my journey. And it's been because I was like, time is the illusion. And yes, that's true. And it's the partnership of the dance and being in flow with structure. So
thank you so much for answering so beautifully. And I love to feel the flow even in your voice and in your presence. So, you shining that brightly and we can feel it from you. Can I have Bex answering this question? So how did you evolve and what was the journey for perceiving the concept of time and how does it feel now?
Absolutely. And beautiful segue from Janaki's is that nature is nurturer for me. So nature really has helped me in my elder years, I'm going to call them, to be able to slow down time. And that's because I think as a young person, there's plenty of things to do, people to see. So, time doesn't necessarily seem like it's going fast, but when you've got things to do and people to see, you're always doing something. So you're not actually reflecting. And I think that the reflection time that we have when we get older is actually the speeding up, because we're actually thinking about memories and creating connections to things that have happened before and are not necessarily living in the moment. So I love going out to nature, because for me, being in nature is actually that slowing down time, helping me be in that moment rather than being in my memories or my actions. So just being with me. So I'm really, really grateful to have been isolated in COVID on and island, and that was when I got to know the elements beautifully, magically, and was out in nature a lot. So it was a very small island with lots of different elements, with the wind, the water, and the mountains, and the beautiful fire that we needed because it was cold where I was too. So there was a beautiful connection to not only nature, but then the core elements, which again, for me, really helps me keep my flow in change, which also helps me be in the moment and connect with time more preciously.
Thank you so much, Bex. And I love what you said about reflection, because we often tend to forget about it because we're just doing. And it reminded me one of the things that I learned from my really good wise friend, who said to me, he introduced completely new concept to me when she said, actually, the resting time is the same value as the doing time. And I was like, wow, like it's so simple, right? But like, I didn't look at life and time from this perspective, and it was just life-changing to me. So something that you touch base on, so thank you so much. And I would like to ask Sophia, what is her perspective and what has been her journey in life with the time and the concept of time?
Thank you, Adela. And I'd just like to really just agree, we'll say ditto to both Janaki and Bex, because it's so true. I'm also, when you go out in nature, time as such ceases to exist. But my whole journey with time has been really interesting because, we grow up in a world, in this 3D world, where we are ruled by the clock. And I also work with someone who's very much now in today, very much into systems, and very much is a systematic person and plans everything. It down to the minute. Every single day is down, has everything scheduled. Where I'm a little bit more like Janaki and I just go with the flow. So there's always been a challenge thing with this concept called time. For me, it's an illusion, but the challenge is living in this world, but yet overcoming the illusion, not being controlled or affected by the illusion, knowing for me that everything happens at the perfect moment or at the perfect time. And stuff, but it's a wonderful dance. It truly is a wonderful dance between that, going with the flow and honoring other people who have deadlines. Just like me, deadlines. Yeah, no, everything happens at the right moment.
Thank you so much, Sophia. And I love how you talk about the dance with the time, because for me, a dancer, it's such a beautiful explanation, because with dance, you have this like a fluid move, sometimes more fast, sometimes slow. And in order for you to get into the action, you need to take a breath, you need to slow down the body, you need to gain the energy to be able for this fast movement. And it's just beautiful to see actually the comparison, the time and the dance. So I really love it. Thank you so much, ladies. Let's move on to the second question. Can we truly slow down the passing of time, or is it just perception that changes? So I would like to ask Janaki, please.
But joys of technology on phones. It's always hard to overcome.
It didn't even want to show up. The little mute button didn't even want to show up. I don't care. Yeah. That's funny. So I had to shift perspectives and shift my phone around. So yes, it is a perception. It is, because it's all in how we choose to see our our world. I mean, in the whole scheme of things, time isn't real. There's no time and space. We're everything and nothing. We're the microcosmic and the macrocosmic. And so it's this agreement that we have. And it's a dance of playing with the illusion. And do you choose to let it rule you, or can you play with it? And you really can play with it. And so what I've been experiencing as my perspective shifts with different things, so does my perspective with time. So it really is all in the eyes of the beholder. and what we believe, be alive in, is our truth. So what do we choose to believe?
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. I love just, your expression, just playing rather than trying to rule it back or controlling. So it's just beautiful to hear that, and, being playful with it, because you can't really conquer it or anything like that. That's just the only way to play with it.
Yeah. Yes, I have to play. As powerful love aligns you. And I heard another just tonight, dancing on the dance floor. When I stay in my play, I manifest miracles. When we stay in our joy, the true essence of our being, this is where magic comes from. We're no longer seeking it on our outer world, because we're in the enjoyment of our now moment. And then it does appear in our outer world when we no longer are looking for it.
So true. And if we seek it, we actually keep it away. So this is how it is. Alrighty, Bex, what do you have to say for this question of the perception of the changes, and if you can truly slow the time down?
Well, I don't actually think there is a way to do that, other than having some old batteries in a clock, perhaps, to be able to slow down that perception of time. But I think that being more mindful and present will actually help you take in your surroundings and form more memories, and then in turn making it seem as though time's slowing down. So slowing down time for me is about building new connections and doing different things. So learning exercises that helps us to be mindful in the present. So things as simple as brushing your teeth with another hand, or walking down the stairs starting with the opposite foot. Those sorts of things actually force your brain to build new connections and learn to adjust the motor skills. And so that actually then creates a presence and actually slows down the things that you do. Because when we become unconsciously conscious, when we do things from that space, then time seems to go fast, because it's like, I've done all these things in this amount of time, when I should have, I wasn't mindful of it. But when you're mindful of it, you actually are noticing the things that you're doing, and time, you're understanding each moment that you're spending on each thing or with people. So therefore it does actually slow down, because it doesn't feel so rushed or have been put all this stuff in to this amount of time or space.
Thank you so much, Bex. And I really like that you use some examples of that. And I would like to expand with you on the question. And I would like to ask you, what methods have you been developed to slow down the time, and how effective are they?
Bex is muted.
It's all good. I'm just excited. I've jumped in. I am very excited because I work with my clients to turn routines into rituals. And so that is really about that slowing down and that conscious awareness of something. And then I put another layer to that, which is then I use the elements. So something that perhaps is a water element, which is having a shower or having a bath, slowing down that and actually honoring the element as well as honoring the time that you're spending doing that action. So it's a bit of a twofold for me, because it's honoring yourself in that, turning that routine into a ritual, and it's actually honoring the element or the thing that it's connected to. And I connect everything back to elements, whether it be actions and fire and, planning and grounding for earth, obviously water's emotions and things, but then, the air with thoughts and actions with choices and those types of things. So routines into rituals is something that is very important for me.
Just a little confession, I had to put a note down because I love it. I love it. Routine into ritual. It's just usually like the most genius things are so simple. And I would like to encourage you, if you're listening, oh my goodness, please take a journal, write it down, because you're going to forget it and you're going to regret it. Anyway, thank you so much for sharing those little tips. And I love, again, we're having the play with elements. That's so interesting. And I just want to know more about it, maybe next time. So I can't wait to hear you expanding on that. However, I would like to ask Sophia if you have any tips and tricks for us for slowing down the time.
Oh, where do we start? I do. And I actually have a little bit of difference belief, whatever. I believe that we can slow down time. The concept of time, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, even 10 years ago, I remember having the time to sit down and write a letter, having the time to sit and have, to have conversations with people, having the time just to sit and read a book and everything else. Now it's like go, 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 because we're fitting so much more in. But can I, if I may, I'd love to quote something. And this is the whole, for me, where this all came about, because every morning or nearly every morning, we have a tribe called Enlightening Discussions, and we're currently reading the Tao Te Ching, or Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life by Wayne Dyer, who it's his interpretation of the Tao. But there's a little part in that when I very first read it many years ago, it's the most powerful. And it's as you relax your hold on the idea of yourself as the job you do or the life you're living, and seek to acquaint yourself with the limitless creative energy that's a part of you, the time and energy you require will appear. And I've experienced that. Unfortunately, I also let the 3D world get on top of me, and I don't experience it all the time, and I get overwhelmed, and it's like there's so much to do. But when I let go of that doingness and start to being the beingness, stop being the human doing and start being the human being, then time, our concept of time, really does expand. And you're really, or I'm like amazed at all the things that can happen, that get done in a short amount of time. And I just really feel that we can slow down time because we have the ability to slow down ourselves. And for me, and I would have actually loved to join Beck in her isolation a couple of years ago. But for me, the pandemic, I thought was a lesson, that we had to learn the lesson of slowing down. But what's actually happened is through technology, even though I love technology, everything's come online. So we're trying to fit in so much that we've got even less time than we had before COVID. Because we're just, like for me, like now, and I tell people, like, one of the biggest wasters of time in illusion is driving across town. Why drive across town when I can get something online? But yet that's actually speeding up time, because I'm focused on the doing, rather than just the being. So, yeah. That's my little thing.
And thank you so much for sharing the quote. I got goosebumps all over my body. Just amazing. Thank you so much. And it's very interesting how you actually mentioned the technology. So I would like to have a spontaneous question to Janaki, because I would love to know from you in particular, how does it feel, how this concept of time, it's affected and influenced by the technology. How do you feel about that?
So with technology, and first of all, I love what Sophia said about, because we got so focused on our doing, and there's a little gold nugget my husband shared with me right towards the end of the COVID thing. And when I was having some resistance with having my classes, and he goes, well, you're most powerful in your beingness rather than your doingness. Yeah. And so that alone, it truly does slow down. And that's what I kept seeing with COVID as well, is everything has slowed down for the frequency of love. And that's where I stopped shaming the slow. Yeah. Shaming it. So as far as technology, again, it's a dance. You can use technology to support you and be disciplined with it, or you can use technology to be distracted and taken away. And sometimes I get to experience both. I get to be very disciplined. And also one of the things that I've seen with technology is I thought I had a fear of being seen. Technology allows us to be seen in our expansive self by people across the world. I'm in Texas, you're in Australia. So it's allowing us to connect, and it is a partnership. Technology, it's a partnership. And again, it comes back to the dance of letting ourselves also turn it off, be in nature, be in our present moment. And then when we require it, use it to support us wherever it may be. So, and I'm still doing that dance.
I think we all are, Janaki.
Sometimes I'm in rate and flow, and everything's so beautifully ordered and structured and with flow. And sometimes it's like,
Adela, if it's okay, may I just interrupt? And I apologize because I didn't tell you about this bit beforehand. But we actually have quite a few people watching us tonight or today, and including Sharon Connolly. And Sharon's commenting that it's interesting, that the conversation is so interesting. So thank you, Sharon. She's also saying that time management, planning, me time, being organized can give us more time in the day.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for sharing that. So beautiful. Yes. Yeah,
absolutely.
And I think that was going to be my segue, actually. So thanks, Sophia. And the person who's watching, I can't remember, sorry, your name. Sharon. Because I think technology, it actually puts more demand on our time, and competing interests. Sometimes it forces us to multitask more and results in wasting time scrolling through social media and maybe having the TV on in the background, the music blaring or something like that. So it forces us to multitask, but then it also helps us process information more efficiently and effectively. And it actually becomes faster at performing tasks, which could help us save time in the long run. So I think there's absolutely those two aspects of it as well, which is it can help us or it can hinder us, but we are the choice makers. We are the ones that, again, is that perception of time. We are the perceivers. And so we need to honor ourselves in choice and making choices. And that's even with choices of how we think about things, not just what we do.
So true. Thank you so much. And I would like to ask back to Janaki, and if you have any tips or any methods that you would like to recommend for the slowing down the time.
Yes. First of all, just connect with your breath.
Yeah.
Allow yourself to just connect with your breath, connect with your senses, and let yourself be present in the very moment, present of now. What are you receiving now? Not wrapped up in our thoughts of what's going to happen, letting ourselves. What I've also has helped me be present is even touch, just gently touching myself, feel the touch on my skin. And so breathing, it's the connection of, and that's what I do in my I am journeys, is help people slow down time, be present. And that's the first thing we do, is connect with all of our senses, be in your body versus in our head. Our head serves a great purpose, and our bodies are always present.
Thank you so much. And
You're
I would
welcome.
like to ask Sophia, how do you see how the different cultures and belief systems perceive the concept of time, and does this affect and how we experience it?
Oh, wow. Thank you for such an interesting question. That it is, because it's so true. And I really do believe that the different cultures perceive time differently, because, we live in the West, and we are I would say that we are the masters of the human doings. And we're so caught up in having to keep on doing. We just mentioned briefly the pandemic. Well, I think we're in a pandemic now, and that is, of the doingness, and always needing more, always having to do more. So therefore, we don't have, the time. This perceived concept of time is, we need more time. We need more of everything, including more of time. Where other cultures, your more indigenous cultures, they're very much more, using the different techniques like Janaki, and very much into nature and the breath and everything else. And that, our true indigenous cultures, the only time that they go on is the sun. Sun rises, sun sets. That's it. They don't have to worry about, you've got to be at a certain place at 11:30 in the morning, and if you're a minute late, that's gone. So it's very much there. A lot of the indigenous cultures, their concept of time is what nature provides. Where for us, we've got it all wrong. And can I just mention, just briefly, quickly, just going back to Sharon, I love what Sharon's saying. I just love Sharon. So Sharon's saying that she plays heavy metal music when vacuuming because it makes the job go faster. It's interesting. Then plays meditation music when doing her artwork because it makes her feel more connected to her work, and she gets more done.
Thank you, Sharon.
Such an interesting thing. But yeah, thank you.
Can I just add something to the comment or to the question before? I think it's evident in our language as well. So how we speak about time. So time is money. We're valued on the amount of time that we put in. Time equals effort. Working 9 till 5, being measured by time, not by output. So I think there's a lot to be said for how we, the language that we use around time, and how that is the perception of time, is that I must do these things to be valuable, or must measure myself on the amount of time that this takes me to do it. I'm either good or bad because I've done it in a certain amount of time, which is, again, comparing yourself to others and comparing yourself to this thing that is not even, it's a concept, it's not even an actual. So I just really needed to bring that in, because our language does not help us honor being in our being.
No, doesn't. Definitely doesn't. If I can share on that, and I agree. And one thing that was coming up while Bex was saying that, because time also has a lot to do with our self-worth, or our self-worth has a lot to do with how we see time. A lot of the time, a lot of things that, if we don't have a lot of self-worth, we're always using our time trying to prove things, whatever it is, whatever, work with other people, whatever it is, rather than valuing our time, our space more, and the beingness more. A lot of it is, I feel that, is if we don't have high self-worth, we're doing a lot more than being.
Beautiful. And I would like to actually know, how would you value your time better? Like, how would you improve? I know I already asked about it, but in particular on this, like, worthiness. So if I have Janaki to answer, please.
Well, first thing is I take care of me. I give so much. And in order to give to the capacity, I refill my cup up so I can continue to give with an overflowing cup of love. So I give me opportunities to either go float or receive a massage or whatever it may be, giving me opportunities to slow down and be with myself and hear the truth within me as we silence ourselves. And so, yeah, it's been, again, it's a dance. And then adding structure in, what I found, I thought it was the resistance in me with ease. And I said, okay, where am I resisting receiving ease and support? Because giving structure and order, Janaki, is actually going to give you more time to do the things you love versus trying to fill your time with all the busy stuff. Because we get in that busy bee type of, when we're really here to be the queen bee and delegate and elevate together. And we're not meant to do it all. We're meant to, all of us, rise and co-create and collaborate and be in community, bringing it all in. So, yeah.
Beautiful, thank you. I have a Bex, in terms of like a worthiness and creating the value of time for ourselves.
Absolutely. So I think the foundations are really important. So having strong foundations for yourself in both your emotions. So finding that emotional awareness around what is it that I value, therefore do more of that, because that's time well spent, and that's spending time valuing yourself. So really looking at those things that you value as the biggest chunks of time for me. And then that other aspect of, what is it that is something that you need to do that, is that mundane, and then scheduling that, but only giving it enough time to do the task. Because I feel like sometimes we can get stuck in those mundane tasks, which then bring us down, and that emotion of, oh, I'm wasting all this time on doing these things and I don't want to be doing this, and I'm, I should be better at this, or I should be doing this. All the shoulds come out then about spending time on things that you don't want to. So I really feel like having that emotional connection with time is really important, and spending it where you want to and value for you is the most important thing, and that's with emotional awareness. And again, to Janaki's point before, body awareness. If I'm in my body and I've got all my sensory, connections happening too, then I'll know that I'm spending my time doing the things that I want to do because I'm feeling the good feels as well, not just emotionally, but feeling it in my body. Because your body's the beautiful gift of, if you're spending time on something and your body's like going, I'm creaking, I'm cracking, I'm resisting it. You'll also know that for yourself as well.
Beautiful. And it is about feeling, especially for us women, like do it at this time when it feels right, not like you can't really schedule it ahead. Even, well, kind of like you can tune in when it's going to be. I think like in 2 weeks time, you're probably right, but really go to feeling, like not really holding too much on the schedule because it's just not going to create anything beautiful. I believe that we experience that, all of you.
Absolutely.
Anyway.
And our cycles are important too. Sorry, I just
yeah.
want to come back to that one point with body awareness that I meant to say.
Let's expand on that. Beautiful point.
Being able to honor your cycle and your emotional connection to your cycle, things might come up. You might need to withdraw. You might need to go into, your cave and do some more self-care. I've got a friend who always used to say, don't make any decisions when you've got your period because it's about bleeding on it, bleed on it. So don't make any decisions, just not literally, but you can if you want to. Make that time and space in that period of time because you don't want to be making fast decisions. That's when you want to be insular and, come back to yourself and connect with your personal power and your womb space and really reflect. So thank you.
Beautiful. And I would like to ask Janaki, how about how you feel about the now it's gone, about the timeline, the woman time, I don't know.
Cycle.
Period. How do you call it? No, it's completely blank now, but you know what I mean.
That's a one that you say that because we all perceive our timelines to be different. And what I have found my timeline is actually in a spiral circle. It's almost like a funnel or tornado. And I'm like, oh, they're portals. And we jump through these portals and different time dimensions because we're so multidimensional that in any time, quote unquote, we can jump in these portals and still be this different version of ourselves and connecting all these dimensions together. So I don't see time as linear. It's very much and there, what I've been receiving a lot with is it's a full circle. Everything's been coming in a full circle. And that's how I'm seeing time, is the full circle of those aha moments in the journey of along the way. So it's funny you had mentioned or asked me that question because someone once asked me, they go, you're a time traveler. And without zero delay, I go, yes, I am. And then all of a sudden I go, what did I just say? What?
It's been interesting because I meant to ask about the cycle. Yeah, the cycle. But like it came out like completely different. So I have to laugh about it.
I was like, oh, that's funny you asked me that. Because I had a hard time when I was in my NLP training. I was looking for the timeline and we kept looking for the timeline. I couldn't find my timeline. I didn't know where it was. That's because I'm in it and it's swirling around me.
I was just about to say about the circle we're having. So when I look from the up there, then it looks like circle. But when I look from the side, it's like a spiral, completely spiraling, growing. It's not like I never go in circles. Like I stop believing it because I'm always growing. It is about the intention you set up for yourselves, I believe, and we're always growing and expanding. This is how it is. It's unstoppable.
Can I just share again, if that's okay, Adela, because Sharon's making some wonderful comments, and I have missed one. Sharon, so I do apologize. Something I know Sharon, she said that she never wears a watch and her whole day is just on her time, which I totally agree. Good on you, Sharon. Me either, and I don't think Bex forget watches. But she loves that. She loves the part about going into the emotional cave. You know, going into my emotional cave, and she's saying that our self-talk about time, if we say I never have enough time, then change my verbalized ideals around I make plenty of time to complete my goals. The structure changes mindfully, which is so true. You know, like if we always say, because I hear it quite often in our community, you know, almost on a daily basis, I don't have the time. If I keep thinking I don't have the time, or I'm too busy, and you know, I'm time poor, or everything like that, that's always going to be the way. You know, the universe is going to say, well, you like to be busy. Well, we'll give you even more busy. Where if I can just turn that around and say, I have all the time and energy that I need, and the time is just flowing, or I flow with the time, it's easy, then time does become easy.
Beautiful. And it can be easy. I love easy. I don't know. Anyone else love easy? Because I do.
Yeah. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Very,
I just
very
want
much.
to ask if any of you have like any like an interesting experience, because I know I have, from like, I don't know how we call it, like time bending. Sometimes when something like completely unreal happened to you, when you thought like there's no way you can make it, but you did, and then you have like time for coffee even. So I would like to hear about those, please, ladies. Janaki?
So this actually happened through right after that experience where that was brought into my awareness that I'm a time traveler. It was at a thing called Medicine for the People, which is a big family camp out, camping in nature, connecting with our internal medicine and sharing our gifts. Very, very beautiful community gathering. And so I was walking back to my tent where my girls were sleeping, and the mic said, come stand in front of me. And I'm like, no. Well, I've been agreement of responding to my heart, even if it makes no sense, I still do it anyways. And so I did that. And when I did that, first I imagined myself looking on top at myself, and also looking through my own lens, seeing all different versions of me in the audience, imagining this. And then all of a sudden, I just went in this portal, and I felt my whole body go and just spinning around. I was like, whoa. And anytime I try to figure it out, because in now, we can't figure things out because everything happens now. Everything happens now. Everything's constantly changing. So we can't really hold on to that concept. It's about being the witness of, the observer. And so I let myself just be the observer of this experience, and seeing all these shapes come at me. I was like, whoa. And I really felt I went through a portal. And when I woke up, my feet were touching the ground like marshmallows. And I saw everything as strategically placed. And where I used to have the old narrative of, I want to go home looking at the stars and not wanting to be here on Earth, I looked at the stars and I said, thank you for giving me planet Earth, and remembering I belong here. So I feel, and since that experience, I've had multiple different experiences of, that's what happened in my I am journeys, quantum, time and space, just things are happening immediately, instantly now, manifestations instantly now.
Wonderful. I have like a twinking all over my body. Very powerful and beautiful. Bex?
One thing real that helped me is I would say, I am here now. And then I let my light language pour through, and just letting myself witness. Because anytime I try to figure it out, it would take me out.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. Beautiful.
So my recent connection was at a beautiful women's gathering last year. This was very moving, and we only had a certain amount of time before we had to get out of the space that we were in, because another group was going to come in and use the camp. And so we had, I think it was about half an hour to do the closing ceremony. And we were feeling like that wasn't enough at the time. But once we dropped into the space and connected as women and had this beautiful, it doesn't matter what's happening outside here, it just matters what's happening inside here in this beautiful community. And once we dropped into that beautiful space, which I call liminal space, there is no time, there is no outside world. There's just the inner world of ourselves, and then the connection that we have in the circle with each other. And we were able to hear from 80 women what resonated for them on the weekend. We were able to honour the elements and honour the directions and honour the ancestors, the traditional landowners. We had so much time that we actually finished early and were able to then hug and then connect and have, you know, other things that we could do. And it was just because we just put the concept of time out of our minds and just let happen what needed to happen from an energetic perspective, and also a community perspective too, which was just absolutely beautiful.
This is so beautiful, and reminds me what Janaki said in a first time when we were talking about time and the love. So this feels like you actually explaining and putting the words onto it. So thank you so much for sharing that. So lovely. Can I have Sophia? Time bending.
Time bending. And I just want to say wow to both Janaki and to Bex, and you can really feel the energy of that and stuff like that. I've had similar experiences in different ways, especially when I've traveled to some very high vibrational places. And I definitely remember when I went to Angkor Wat, and you can almost walk through, or you can, the portals of time, and you be in another space, another whole realm, another plane, another dimension. That's the word that I'm trying to find, all things of time, when you can just connect with the energy and allow it to take you wherever is needed. And, you know, we can go on lots of time, you know, we can then talk, you know, about parallel times and everything else, and all that different dimensional things. But that's another conversation, Adela.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing. Well, this has been wonderful with all of you. And before having last question for you all, I would just like to, I can't help this, I just like to share what I've written down, because, and if I'm not hosting, I'll be writing the whole time, your wisdom, but just 3 which really caught my my attention. So routine to ritual, absolutely love it. Thank you so much. You are the most powerful in your beingness, not in your doingness. Absolutely love it. Thank you so much. And no decisions on bleeding. Oh my God, this is life-changing to me. I can't wait to apply that. So yeah, it's undercrossed here to keep in mind. And so for the last questions, my beautiful ladies, I would like to ask you just to say last few words to wrap up. And if you like to talk about your programs you're offering, what are you hosting within the community, so people can get in touch with you and learn more about you and being part of, you know, your wisdom and learn from you more. So can I have Janaki, please?
Yes. So yes, as far as just the gift of allowing ourselves to slow down, just check in occasionally, And our thoughts, our heads are always in the past or present, and just give any opportunity to be in your body. And as far as my offerings, what I do have a free gift. If you go to my website, Bhakti Light, BHAKTILIGHT.com, you can receive, it is a activation manifestation meditation. And because the power of imagination and allowing yourself not only to imagine, but feel in your body, because our bodies, everything happens in the moment of now. And we can plant those seeds in fertile soil if we so choose, and manifestations happen quickly. So I have that gift. And then I also have my next I Am journey is May 5th. And that one is I Am My Divine Mother's Love. And then I also have a retreat. This one is in person. It's not virtual. It's a retreat if anyone lives in Texas or chooses to travel to Texas. It is I Am Awakened, and it's uncovering all the layers within our energy centers, working with our chakras through our feeling world, through uncovering these different ways of being, really. And then I have my family retreat called Family Resolutions, because the most powerful, we first start in our home, in our body, and then the home of the four walls are what's most important. And that's how we change the world. We start in, the door opens in. So that's what I have at this very moment, and my offerings that I have.
Thank you so much. Very exciting. Can I have a Bex, please?
Absolutely. I'm excited because I have an in-person Sydney tribe that's happening this weekend, which is a bit exciting.
Yes.
22nd. Yes, it is this weekend. I just had to double check
Oh my
that.
God.
Your face scared me, Sophia.
I'm going, yes, this weekend. Oh, wow.
So we're having a picnic in the park. So if you live in the Sydney area, or if you live outside the Sydney area, feel free to travel down. We are near a train station, St. Leonard's train station. So it's going to be at Naremburn Park. All the information is in the Sydney Tribe section on the website. I personally am running a Finding You course, so Finding You program, and that really is an 8-week program which is going to help you make more aligned choices and free yourself from restriction, and really get in touch with what it is that you need for you. So we look at things like how you find your flow in change, looking at the hero and heroine's journey, looking at things like the concept of time and how we suppress or express ourselves in that, and lots of other social pressures and gender biases and all of those types of things wrapped up in this beautiful 8-week program, which is a great special that's going to be part of the masterclass series as well too, that I'm going to be giving some giveaways to this beautiful community. So that is online, so anyone in the world can come and join, and that is actually starting on the 27th, so next Thursday. So I'll put a link in that as well, because Sophia doesn't have a link, so I'll pop a link in the chats below and all the rest of it as well. And then I have an Art of Yin Flow report that is also an offering, which is helping people turn routines into rituals and look at the elements and how they can bring elements into their life, and honouring the elements to help create the flow in life. So that's my beautiful Art of Yin methodology.
Thank you so much. Wonderful.
Thank you.
And I hope, Sophia, if you don't mind, I just want to say a huge thanks to all of you for letting me be here, letting me hosting for my first time. So it's been great fun, and it's been an absolute pleasure. And I am the host of the Embodiment Woman Circle, which I run every second Tuesday. So we will have one next Tuesday, which is 7:30 Sydney time. And it is all about connecting to our bodies, connecting to our sensuality and femininity. So we do a little bit of healing, we do a little bit of movement, whatever is needed. And I would say it's for all the women who are open-minded to learn something new, and like a little bit like expand on their sensuality, and also it allows you to be seen. So we're sharing how we move, and it's so important to do that. And it can be a little bit challenging sometimes, but it's great to do, and it is a safe space to do it. So a little bit about me. So yeah, thank you so much again, and thank you so much for everyone who's watching. And now I'm going to give a word to Sophia.
Thank you, Adela, and I'm just making sure that just getting all the comments. Sharon saying that she's a director of Soul Station Spiritual Centre in New Zealand. Sharon, we would love to talk to you. Please, we'd love to invite you on Shining the Light on Our Community conversations, where we go live on 5 different platforms to share about. We'd love to connect with you. And she's saying that she one day would love to visit Texas. So you never know, Janaki, you never know. But thank you, Sharon, for joining us tonight. It has been an honour to be able to include you in the conversation. And coming up in just 2 days' time, a little earlier in the morning, our time, 9:30 Australian Eastern Standard Time, Sydney time, on the 19th, so that's Wednesday. Tuesday night for America is Finding Healing Magic in Life's Chaos. Finding Healing Magic in Life's Chaos is our next panel discussion. So many panel discussions coming up, and also masterclasses, because we are excited. Are we excited? We are excited. We're all excited. Can you imagine? This is our first panel that we have all hosts, so I'm really honoured. We're excited because we are launching Sacred You, our sacred community. We've been slowly building everything, and now it's time for the launch. And we have our beautiful Janaki, who's joining us with her first tribe. So Janaki, tell us a little bit about your tribe before we go. That's just starting. Yep.
Want to let me unmute again. It's called Sounds of the Soul. It actually birthed because I had a women's retreat, Sounds of the Soul, which was the most beautiful birthday gift I didn't expect, and I gave myself. And so I thought it was about the sound, and it's about being our full expression, because we don't even have to have our words. It's just being our expression. When we express, we're no longer depressed. And allowing ourselves, there's so many things we suppress within our society. So yes, we will be connecting with sound, and we'll be connecting with our pure expression, sounding, rooting in our sound soul, sound mind, sound body, in all sounds of the soul, all because that's what we are made up of, is vibrational frequency. And so it's something very precious to my heart, because I was acknowledged for being speechless, or the good girl, because I held back my voice for so long, playing the people pleaser role. So this is the unveiling of the mask, and showing up powerfully for who you're meant to be, and your full, raw, authentic expression of you, and let your soul shine through. That's what we're here for.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And I'm really looking forward to it, because your first tribe meeting is tomorrow.
Yes.
Coming up, well, tomorrow here in Australia, tomorrow morning, and probably tomorrow for you too, because, well, maybe your afternoon.
11
yes.
hours.
11 hours, something about that, yes. And Sharon's saying that she'd love to join in. So Sharon, yes, you're more than welcome to join us. You're more than welcome to join us for Janaki's Sound of the Soul tribe meeting, or for Adela's Embodied Women's Circle. Love you to come to Sydney. If you're ever in Sydney and join Bex for the Sydney local tribe, come and have a coffee. Let us know. Or we can also got over 20 other tribes, online tribes, where, you know, your spiritual family is just one click away. We have over 20 tribes on all different topics, ranging from the metaphysical, the health and wellness, personal development, the financial, business. And do click on the links that will be in the comments very soon if they're not already. And join us, Sharon, and anyone out there who's watching just for $1 Australian, just $1 Australian. You can get to try everything out for 3 weeks, a 3 weeks trial. And then after that, it's only $15 Australian a month. But that is only up until the 20th of May, because on the 20th of May, we are launching. And before then, we have 15 masterclasses and panel discussions that are all really, really special, that Janaki and Adela are offering masterclasses, and as Bex said, is also part of it with her beautiful offer. All those links are on our website. If they're not in the comments, do check it out. It's sacredu.love, the website for our sacred community. So do come and join us. And again, thank you ever so much, Adela. Your first panel, wonderful. I'm really excited for when your next one is. And thank you, Janaki, and thank you, Bex.